Sure, that was a great save of the gammon by Rhino. Rambiz takes the lead. 2-0 their match to 11.
Thank you.
Interesting options here for Rambiz to make an anchor. Do a bit of both. Anchor and the blitz. And this should be a long game. Tony will help. Tony will hope to start getting some structure going, either in his home board or the back. Is it France?
You guys been watching this from the start? Hey, everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
I haven't been watching from the start. I just tuned in late.
Was a great save by Tony in the first game. He rolled 5-5 to save a gammon.
Sure, okay. And he's turning this game around.
Certainly is. Although
Ooh,
I thought this was a very easy take. This double that Rambiz gave him early in the game. So now they start playing to 9. Do you remember being in this position last year, Max?
Yeah, I remember with Mark Olsen commentating. Felt quite surreal.
Seems like yesterday. That was about four mouses ago for me.
I can't actually believe it's been a year. It's insane.
Yeah, crazy. It's amazing how time flies.
Gents, it's been a lot longer than a year. That was in June last year.
Wow.
Sure.
Max, have you played much with the Rambiz?
No, I played him once, obviously in this tournament, and I got hammered. He's super solid by the looks of it. I mean, his PR has been consistently in the 2s and 3s.
Yeah, no, he's played really well.
I think his Galaxy rating is not a good indicator, because if you look at how many games he's played on there, it's not that many. So I don't think it's normalized yet.
Yeah.
Hello, chaps.
Yeah.
Hello, can
Sorry,
you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
How you all doing?
Wonderful. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good, man. The question is, who the hell is this Rambiz fellow?
I think he's an Iranian who lives most of the time in South Africa. That's my understanding. I think he's got permanent residence.
Okay.
Lives in
I have a
Joburg.
bit of
Is
backstory.
he new on the block?
New to South African backgammon and this league, I guess.
Okay.
I think it's a fair. It's fair to say, France, the way that he plays, he's been playing for quite a while.
Yeah, no, we got that. We got that. But I mean, he hasn't been playing in any of the tournaments or anything.
No, the way I understand it, every year Fahad tries to import somebody to buy cheap in the auction. And this year it was Rambiz's turn. Last year was Amir Golab, and I think next year he's going to have somebody else who's arriving. Apparently, there are a couple of very good 14-year-old backgammon players in Iran who are looking to get holiday jobs in South Africa in time for the auction.
Would you say Fahad
Yes,
is in a position to offer them
yeah.
employment?
I'm sure he would.
You have to sponsor them and fly them in because the internet is so unstable in Iran. So, yeah.
So I can give you a bit more information about Rambiz that he sent me.
Oh, perfect.
He's 55. He's been playing backgammon since he was about 17. So that's almost 40 years.
Yeah.
He said growing up he saw his elder cousins and uncles play, but he wasn't that involved. He was much more interested in chess. Family was a bit religious, so backgammon was just played for bragging rights, or at most a pair of socks. But when he moved to Germany in 1983, and he was in boarding school, and he started playing backgammon there for cigarettes or for a drink. Let's see what else he has to say. He after high school, he went to university in Bonn, where he registered for theoretical physics, and he joined the local chess club. They weren't a particularly strong team, and he often was a substitute or played the last table. But through chess, he hooked up with backgammon players and started playing for serious money. Says the first book he read was Roberti's Advanced Backgammon, and he can tell you that Thorpe's formula for evaluating Bear-off races excels beyond Trice's formula and the Keith count. He played a few tournaments in Germany with mediocre success in the beginners and intermediate divisions. He remembers losing to Johannes Levermann in a tournament match, where he left him a 2-2 joker, and rest assured he rolled it.
So I don't know if you know, but Johannes Levermann was one of the guys who developed Snowy.
Wow.
And he was a top player, and then got into poker like most of them did.
Right.
Yeah, but he was a wonderful player.
So he says at the time, actually, Johannes was ranked number 3 in the world.
Yeah.
At some point later on, he was ranked number 3 in the world. He also remembers losing to Ralph Jonas in the warm-up of another tournament. Do you know who he is, Dirk?
Yeah, Ralph Jonas is also one of the top players.
Okay.
Those were like the very strong 80s and 90s German players.
Right. So I guess that's kind of where Rambiz got his teeth.
Yeah, he had a lot of guys in those days. I mean, Dirk Schiemann was a good player, but there were a lot of guys. Marius Curl, Jonas, Levermann. Yeah, there were a lot of terrific players in those days.
Right. Well, it looks like Rambiz is lining up for a gammon in this match.
Yeah.
He goes on to say...
a couple of unlucky bounces.
Sorry, he goes on to say he won the intermediate once in Aachen, I think it's pronounced, Max? Aachen. Okay. But there were only 13 participants, he says with a wink. Same tournament he played in a €100 jackpot against Michael Mayberg in the finals, and asked him if we could split at a score of 5-all to 7 points. He agreed without hesitation. It was a generous gesture from a 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
Fast forward many years, he left university in Germany, moved back to Iran. Meanwhile, internet is a thing, and he found out about the Grid Gammon server. It was called Games Grid back then. It says, forget about True Money Games or Galaxy. I played on Grid Gammon for postcards and also for money. And I have some nice postcards from around the world, including one from Mishi and one from Mary Hickey. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I asked him about some remarkable incidents, and he says he beat Francois Tradeau for 40 points at €30 per point, but he also dropped €1,400 to Thomas Lumper in several matches in one single night.
Humke or Rumke? There were two of them. There was
Lumper with an L.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did you also play with these guys, Dirk?
Yeah, I mean, I did, and I know that we had I think Max had asked Mark Brookman about Francois Tradeau. I mean, I remember there was a stage where he was supposed to be technically the best guy around,
right.
Although he didn't win much.
Okay.
And then there was Sven Rumke and I can't think of Humke's first name, but these were all top. Michael Myberg, they were all just top. I mean, these were the days where kind of Snowy was just arriving, and people were still working things out.
What a cool number.
That's very unlucky for Tony.
Oh,
wow. The first name of Humke is Andreas.
There we go.
Thanks, Klaus.
There we go. Thanks, Klaus. How are you?
And Yeah, thanks. I'm fine. I'm enjoying my retirement. I met Andreas Humke many years ago at a tournament in Germany, and we had a couple of beers, and he told me how he went to Monte Carlo for many years with Levermann and the gang, and they were trapped with 5 people in one room because they didn't have the money.
Yeah.
Quite interesting guy.
Interesting.
It was an interesting 3-1.
There's been a tremendous picture of Rambiz just popped up on our WhatsApp chat group.
Deep in concentration.
Yeah, there we go.
Fahad, Fahad playing host.
Max, are you playing for Germany or South Africa this evening?
I'm not sure yet. I'll see.
We'll be watching closely.
Good luck,
No,
man.
I would get a lot of satisfaction from beating Schiemann, even if it is only on points.
You
I'll
really
try my
great.
best
You gotta just beat him, man.
to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
His average over this
Hmm.
his average over this tournament has been 1.97.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he used to play a lot in the 90s. He was part of that same generation that Dirk was talking about now. But then he's come back, and he's now just come back with a vengeance, it seems. His game is, I think, sharper than it's ever been. I think he will beat Mochi is my bet. Dirk and I have a bet running on that.
Wow. Dirk, you backing Mochi?
Yeah, I am just because, you know, I mean, there's certain, the evaluation is being done by the computers, and I certainly know with Schiemann and a couple of these top German guys, they believe that they've got ideas that are beyond what the computer can kind of understand.
Yeah.
So I'm you know, it depends whether he's trying to adjust. He's going to try and adjust on certain positions to what he thinks the computer wants, or whether he's going to play the way it does. But I just think that I don't know. I think we've been denied a little bit by Ueda not being at the UBC and some of the American guys. I think we might have a different finalist under this.
Interesting.
I'm really looking forward to Dirk's book. I think it's going to be really good. Yeah,
you see, the problem is that it caters for people as intelligent as you, Max. But for dumbos like me, I won't get it. It's beyond my thing.
Whatever.
Oh, that attitude.
I asked Dirk when we were scheduling our match. I asked him, you know, can I get a copy of your book to prepare?
Yeah.
And he ignored my comment.
Rude.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ignore you after he plays you. You'll be a good warm up for Mochi.
When are they set to play?
I think in November in Istanbul.
Okay. And I see they've just
Cool play
announced
by
the
Tony
venue
here,
for.
leaving the plot.
Right.
Right.
They've just announced the venue for the next UBC champs, which I think
Where
will be
is it?
Also
in Istanbul. Yeah.
Yeah, I must say, don't you think it's very generous of? Oh, that was an interesting. But yeah, but don't you think it's very generous of Mochi to travel all the time?
For sure. Very cool.
I think he's got big like money fish in every city of the world that he can just play money games with, and that sponsors his ticket, I think.
Yeah.
So how are we going to entice him here?
Money.
Do you know he really wanted to come out here?
Yeah.
When I set that thing up with him last year, and I had a lot of chats with him, and he was so keen to come out here.
Lunchtime. I think this is the cue because the race is even and the hit is a market loser.
And at the score, it's certainly a take. Certainly a take, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I should actually be happy because I own Tony for second place. but I can't help myself rooting for Tony.
There.
Is he starting to play a lot more? I see he's rating you on Galaxy has gone up so much since I last saw it.
Yeah, I think he's more into it now than he used to be. I think he's got a little bit more time on his hands now because he was running a restaurant business during COVID, which must have been pretty tough.
Yeah,
Is he not anymore?
No, he is, but I think now that things are a little bit sort of improving from a lockdown perspective,
Right.
Maybe it's. I think he also bought it as lockdown hit, so there was a lot of like establishing the business and making sure that it's running smoothly.
Yeah, sure.
He's a terrific guy. He couldn't have had worse timing in buying that business.
Yeah. So I can tell you about Tony's backgammon. Sorry, Max.
And I was just going to say the thing I most admire about Tony's game, I don't know if you guys have seen him play live, he's got such an amazing pace of play. Like he doesn't rush any moves, he always considers it and then makes his move. So he never makes careless errors, but he's also not slow. He just has, I wish I had his pace of play. He's really one thing I admire most about this game.
It's if I had to use two words to describe it, it's considered and measured, isn't it? It's
exactly.
It really is a beautiful tempo he plays it.
So very similar to Deron Claxton then in his tempo, you'd say.
Yeah, I mean Deron's also very considered and no gut reactions at all.
Not considerate.
Well, I can tell you just to finish off Rambiz's journey. He came to South Africa. He first learned about South Africa in 1991, and then he came some years later, settled in Durban, and he's been in Joburg now for 2 years. I think he's a lecturer at a university. I'm not entirely sure.
Wow, beautiful story. And tell us about Tony. You see, you've got his backgammon journey as well.
So Tony sent me a document as well. I'll read you the full thing. So he says, backgammon is a popular pastime in Greece. So being Greek, I learned the game at an early age. First learned to play from my first cousin, who was a girl. She in turn learned the game from her father. Played casually through my teen years. It was only when I did my compulsory national service I saw there was more to the game than I realized. Much more.
Sorry, can I stop you quick, Nick? Look at this 3-1. This is interesting. How do you play this, Max?
Slot the 5. Make the anchor.
So behind in the race.
I think you've got to hit and come to the... Yeah, I think that's my play as well. Sorry, Nick. It was just an interesting move.
No problem.
Right, so he went to the army. We got there.
Yeah. Can you see the document out of interest or just the backgammon?
No. I just remembered where you got up to.
No, that's cool.
I've got photographic hearing.
So he said from that point on, from his compulsory national service, he was pretty much hooked on the game. Let me just see who's unmuted here.
Double hit.
If I should, I'm just going to mute him. So he says he then started looking for ways to improve his gammon, and he remembers one of the first books he bought was on a trip to London in his early 20s. He went to a Barnes & Noble and bought Backgammon for Profit by Joe Dweck, who was a top British player back in the day. He loves reading backgammon books. It's quite a collection. He then joined the only backgammon club in Joburg. And interestingly, the chairman of the club was someone he knew, but did not know that at the time he was a backgammon player. He only found out when he went for an interview to see if he would be accepted into the club. It was a tightly run club, and they would interview candidates to see if they were suitable or not. The chairman of the club was one Rene Binekos, and it so happened that he owned a takeaway burger joint in Leondale that went by the name of Yankees. The reason I knew him is because in those days I worked for my father, who owned a round of arcade games, which were distributed throughout Joburg, and I used to go to his shop to service the machine. Quite a sweet story.
Nice.
Said the club consisted of about 20 members, mostly of Greek, Cypriot, Jewish, and Lebanese origin. All the usual suspects that the game attracted in those days. They were the cool crowd, no nerds or academics, were part of the club in those days. Only photographers, bookmakers, cafe owners, and the like. I also recruited my cousin Nick
Not
into
like
the
now.
club. Hey?
Not like now.
Not like
Nerds and
now.
academics.
Exactly. He also recruited his cousin Nick into the club as he had taken a keen interest in the game. They spent many hours together over the board. Things would get pretty intense, but we were always good sports at the end. In those days, we used to play to 21-point
Nick
matches.
Ferris, by the way.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
And he said they used to play to 21 points, and he had reasonable success in the club. It wasn't uncommon for a match to go on for 3 or 4 hours. Let me just take a break and see what's happening in this match. Rambiz firing hard.
Sorry, Nick.
He says he looked for other avenues of improvement and brought him to a place called Cafe Vienne in Hillbrow. Hillbrow in the 80s was a magic place. It was like a little slice of Europe with lots of cafes, restaurants, and bars, some going around the clock. At any time in the evening, you could go there and find people engaged in the game of chess or backgammon. There was a back room where most afternoons there was a game of charrettes on the go. Spent countless hours there watching the players, but never participating. He was still in his early 20s, and this was a much older crowd. He doesn't recall how much they were playing point, but he doesn't think it was too small. Many years later, he did join a charrette school and enjoyed many happy years there playing charrette. He says, for me, charrette is still the most form of the game. I guess he would mean the most pure form of the game, but I don't play much of it these days. In the pre-bot days, you never really knew what your level was. You could only measure your success against your peers. It's all changed, and nowadays you know exactly what your level and everybody else's level is. I'm a student of backgammon and should spend more time developing my game. I still have some big holes in the way I play and many positions that I don't understand. But that's part of the fun and frustration. You will never conquer the game no matter how good you get. I marvel at people playing 2 or more games at a high level. I've only ever wanted to play backgammon, knowing that I could never master more than one game. It's an ongoing passion that will probably stay with me till the end.
Nice.
Really nice.
Yeah, nice
Really
for them
nice.
to send these in. I might put them on the website at some point.
So apparently with a well-timed ace-point game, you get a shot 90% of the time. So it's not over yet.
Surprised he didn't make his full point there from the 8. Because he could have burned the 6s. It worked out the same. Came exactly the same.
Yeah, timing is precarious. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Just keep rolling 6s here, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
France, are you impersonating Kingsley Holgate?
Something like that.
Looking good, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. You're about 2 months early to be Father Christmas.
Fuck you. I'm paying for a shave later.
Don't. It suits you.
Grow it out.
Considering cubing now, he
Yeah.
thinks he's maybe no longer. There's no risk on the next roll. Is there? No.
I think double four was fine.
It's interesting, these games where you go from wanting to win a gammon to just being happy to hang on to win.
Now there's some risk.
Yeah.
This could be an error. It might be right to play on here.
So does that make it an easy pass?
Yeah, I would think so. Even at the 3 away, at this kind of a score. Because even if you get a shot, you still have to hit it, and you only do that like a third of the time. It's just not enough.
Have you sent me the list?
6-1, 6-5, double 4, double.
Yeah. I've got
6.
recency bias. I've got this this thing ringing in my ears of 90% chance of leadership.
Yeah.
That's a good drop, I think.
Hmm.
It's interesting how the strength of backgammon shifted from south to north, huh?
Yeah,
From north
interesting
to
is one
south
word.
and-
It's a cadenza, really. Very embarrassing. It's good for the game.
Absolutely.
I think it has coincided with a whole lot of children being born in Cape Town.
There's certainly been a bit of that in the backgammon community, hasn't there?
Yes.
Basically, a whole lot of takes and not too many passes.
Yeah. Yeah, Max and Duron both took doubles, it seems.
Mm. You got plans for another one, Nick?
I'll have to watch the odds. Yeah, eventually.
Good. It's beautiful to see all the pictures that you guys put up. It's
Thank you.
really gorgeous pictures. Yeah, it's funny how this game treats you sometimes. It seems like there's just no pressure for Rambiz. He just,
Mm,
you know, Tony's really battling to try and get into any game, and it's
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
coming out really nice for Rambiz at the moment.
absolutely. Sure.
And it's also so difficult at the score, because I mean there's a part of Tony that's dying to, you know, to get the action going a bit.
Yeah.
I'd break the midpoint here.
Yeah, I do as well. Good move, I think.
It's all too easy.
Yeah, it's just no wobbles at all.
Well, Tony's still ahead in the race.
Yeah.
If he gets a decent running number.
Ready.
Mm. So is Rambiz, though. Nice roll.
Still ready.
Ah,
Ooh, yeah.
right on time.
Yeah.
So this meeting's going to end in
Final ring.
about 5 minutes. We'll start another one.
Looks like the game might be over before then.
Yeah. What do you think he's
about
thinking of
keeping
here?
contact.
Mm.
But I think he's far enough ahead in the race that he can just play from the 10 and the 9.
Right.
Yeah, the 12.
72 to 84.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's an interesting question, and Max, you'll know this better than me, but I mean, there comes a point where from 10, if he loses this game, Tony, and he goes 10-3 behind, he's got such little chance that, I mean, he's almost close to a double at any stage, isn't he?
I think, yeah, if the situation is volatile, then you want to throw it in. But in these like race situations, 10-3, then he would have to win the Crawford game, makes it 10-4.
Yeah.
10-6, 10-8, 10-10.
I mean,
yeah, he has to win 4 or 5 matches in a row.
He needs so little, you know, so little edge to actually turn the cube, doesn't he?
Rambiz might be missing.
Oh, yeah,
He's got a cube afterwards.
Oh.
Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
1,
4.
4.
Is this a cube?
I don't think so.
Mm.
I think you wait one more roll to give it because of the match score.
Yeah, make it a 3-roll situation.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So an absolute wonderful player, but gee whiz, he's had no arm wrestle with these rolls. It seems like every game, two rolls in, Tony's already coming uphill. $13, 10, 6, 4.
It's a bit awkward.
Uh-huh. Man.
Yeah, it's still a shot.
Yeah.
Make the 2 point. Yeah.
Or slot the 2.
Yeah.
Making the 2 leaves more shots. Yeah. Make the 2 or come forward. Come forward.
I'll come forward.
Yeah.
With
20, and then slot the 2.
Yeah.
To keep the pressure on that 1 point there.
Yeah, he's kind of let him off by coming off the 24 a little bit.
Yeah.
This is okay though. 2013. Ah, interesting.
Hmm.
Do you think Rambiz will make the ugly 2-1 play with both?
Well, he might make 18 to 60 with 2.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ahead enough though. For that.
Sure.
Both of the 7. Oh, trouble.
Only hurts for a second.
Wow.
Okay. 3-6 for glory.
I mean, the way this has gone, it's almost like Rambiz knew you were running out of time on this link.
I was going to say.
The Zoom call will cut off as the PR gets revealed.
Yeah. Might need to launch a new one just for the analysis. Max, are you able to launch a new one?
I actually have a meeting at 2 now.
Me too. Okay. Well, we can do the analysis tonight. How about that?
Yeah, maybe before the other game or something.
Yeah, maybe maybe the two guys who played it can talk us through it.
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
nice.
their calendars are hard to convene.
I think Rambiz has got the PR here as well.